You know,
I never played poker in Red Dead, and whenever I did, I just totally put all in every time, no matter what, because I don't know how to fucking gamble. That was it.
not how you gamble. Not how you gamble.
You don't just say all in every time? That's what I do.
No.
That's how I make it work.
Not what I do.
Dude, dude, I just started cooking right now. It's so fucking warm in here. I'm taking my shirt off after we're done with this, by the way. After I'm off camera, you know?
Yeah. After you're off recording. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Chaos Continuum podcast. Shut up, Ben. Yes, we're starting. Welcome back, episode 5. Has it already been 5 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's been 5 weeks. Yeah.
Holy shit! We were recording this the Friday before we're supposed to go up. By the way, so
yeah. This is like last minute.
last minute, because Ben was dead the first half of the week. So was I. Canada's on fire.
Yeah.
How is that?
Awesome.
Are there any of the fires near you? Like, is it even smoky where you are?
Like a month ago they were.
Oh, but now it's like not in your area at all.
Yeah, now it's not there.
Damn. Have you seen New York?
Oh, I've seen pictures of it. Yeah.
New York is on fucking fire.
Good for them.
But yeah.
Have they tried calling the fire department?
I don't know. I think they might have called, and then Smokey the Bear was supposed to show up, but then he like got lost in transit. I have no idea.
Yeah. Smokey the Bear, he fell off a bridge.
Yeah.
Drove right off. That's awful.
It's also sweltering hot here. It's like 90 degrees and 60% humidity here.
Let me tell you what.
My AC to this house is fucking busted. Apparently it's leaking. So literally, my landlord said, I don't want to pay $5,000 to $8,000 to fix it. So you get to suffer for a bit, and I'll send you some in-window like units later on.
Oh.
But until that happens, I'm dying.
So here it is 21 degrees Celsius. I don't know what I can here look it up with Fahrenheit.
I have no idea what the fuck that is
That's why
in American. But yeah. Overall, it's been a relatively.
That is 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that would be so nice.
What do you mean I'm cooking out here?
70 degrees is not cooking, man. Maybe if you're from the snow and you're made of fucking, like, I don't know, paper mache, but, like, 69 degrees is nice.
Okay. Keep acting tough. The door's open. Here, door's open, buddy. Sorry, my bad.
You're talking to me or the child?
Child.
Okay, yeah.
No. But you think you're all tough with this? Oh, that's not even hot. Well, I'll give you some numbers.
Yeah.
I'll give you some big old numbers. So I'm just gonna round this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Yeah. You know what? You drive a fucking great point. I didn't even think about that.
Shut up.
Oh, man.
Dude, I didn't even want to do this math. Never mind.
Yeah, why are you trying? Just shut up. It doesn't matter. Heat is a myth told by the government, and I'm done with it.
Okay. So how would you like some negative 30? No, can you stay inside for a little bit, buddy? God, kid.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Kyle, how would you like to do some negative 31 Fahrenheit? How'd you like that? Did you enjoy that?
That doesn't sound too bad. I like it when it's really cold.
What the fuck, man?
I was fucking born in a desert, man. I love the cold.
I hate you.
You're Canadian, man. You don't get a say. You don't have human rights, dude. You were like, I think you would have been prime testing material for various Axis powers in the 1940s.
Oh, shit. Fucking hell.
Oh, man.
Not where I thought you were going with that, but I'll take it.
Okay. There's been even more of that coming out now, too, about, have you heard of the Japanese one? That's been blowing up this last, week or so as well.
No.
Unit, 731.
What's that?
It was a Japanese military, research facility that was in China. You know how, during World War II or, just before World War II, Japan was, invading China and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Unit 731 was this group of Japanese scientists and shit that were basically doing all of the same things that the Nazis did to their prisoners in, Auschwitz and whatnot, but to Chinese prisoners and shit. They were straight up putting babies in freezers and, seeing what happens to infants when you freeze them. This is for educational purposes, by the way, YouTube. I'm not talking about dead babies because I enjoy it. But yeah, it was loads of that kind of shit, they would dissect people while they were still alive. It was some fucking cruel.
I'll take a quick pause here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for the crying in the conversation. My son was drinking out of a very dirty pool, so I decided to take his cup, fill it with water, and he decided to freak out at me.
That's normally what they do, yeah.
So I do my deepest apologies. What were you saying, Kyle?
Something about crimes against humanity, I think.
Something about giving people autopsies when they're still alive.
Yeah, being dissected alive. Can you imagine? It would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I think in every instrumental, every way, that would suck.
But I've gone down a rabbit hole of different atrocities and shit and mishaps made by governments in the last week or 2 weeks or so.
Well, and we've already talked about, the American government, one of their biggest. You call it a mishap, but I think it was a success.
Are you talking about the vampires or 9/11? Or the manhole cover? You sound like you're making such a fucking fake laugh. You sound like you're trying to imitate Jimmy Carr's laugh. You know how he fucking laughs? Super fucking, awkwardly?
We both know that's how I laugh.
It's not. That's not fucking true.
Oh,
You
no,
don't.
mine's high-pitched.
You don't laugh in the opposite direction as everyone else laughs.
Yes, I do, jackass.
That's fucking retarded. No wonder you're Canadian, bro. What the fuck?
Your laugh got deeper as you grew up. Mine got higher. It sucks.
My everything got deeper as I grew up. What are you talking about?
Your everything?
Everything. All of it.
Your intellect, your emotional capacity?
Yeah, a little bit.
God, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
So you think the government did 9/11?
It's definitely,
Oh, the Fed's knocking on your door.
the Pinkertons coming and looking for Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
That's what I'm up against, honestly. But yeah,
that's what Dutch had.
I don't think it's as cut and dry as it's said to be. I mean, I don't know the facts to myself, but I think the plane that hit the Pentagon just happened to hit the part of the Pentagon where they store all of their records about financial spending.
They also happen to be in debt, right?
They the conspiracy shit I always see on TikTok and everything. I don't know how accurate it is. I just take it at face value and I'm like, that sounds about right. Is that $10 trillion or some shit was spent by the Department of Defense or the military in general, whatever, the government in general. And then just so happens a few days later, a plane hits the Pentagon.
And you don't think that's like a little weird?
It's a little weird. It's, that kind of shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's... Get back onto our points that we were talking about government mishaps. 9/11 was not what I was talking about.
No?
I was actually referring to a thick metal circular object.
The manhole cover that flew at 100,000 miles an hour.
Vampires, you went vampires, which I was like, haha, that's funny, to 9/11. And that's
the tragedy. Yeah.
The great tragedy.
Yeah. It was pretty fucked up, but it was before my time, so I don't really have a frame of reference, and I don't care that as much, You know what? Actually, I same, dude, same. Honestly, I understand 110%. I actually was watching a thing about a story today about a dude who was literally like he delivered pizzas. He was a fucking pizza delivery man, like Philip J. Fry from Futurama. He shows up to deliver 2 sausage pizzas, and while he's there, he gets attacked, and he has what's essentially a rigged explosive strapped to his chest and told to go rob a bank. And while he's at the bank, the explosive goes off and kills him. And it was a whole long fucking rabbit hole, and it was fucking wild.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Get around. Right? But then suddenly I asked, like, right while I was trying to ask you this, you just went, it's almost like the feds got in your brain. You're like, yeah, man, I totally agree. What is that?
Well, I was just talking to nothing. I was just going along with the silence.
and then I'm trying to talk to you, and you're like, Ben, and I'm like, am I tripping? What's happening?
Did you hear my story about the bank robbery?
I heard everything.
Okay,
I heard everything you said, yeah?
Yeah. You just muted yourself like a fucking idiot on Xbox Live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so good at this, Ben.
So good at what?
Exactly. So, honestly, I was about to say the greatest tragedy of our generation is probably Obama. The war in Iraq.
I can't relate to that because Obama never affected you.
Yeah, he definitely affected you. America affects everything.
I mean, it always trickles down a little bit, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, ever since Reagan, that's kind of been the policy.
Like even like the bills and the regulations you guys want to follow trickle down, right?
Yeah.
Or we like look at them at least.
I kind of wish it was the other way around.
What do you mean ever since Reagan?
Reagan's the one that introduced trickle-down economics, which is a theory that if the super wealthy have a lot of money, that money trickles down to the lower classes. But instead what that does is now a lot of the money goes to the super rich, and then none of it goes to the lower class, because why would rich people give up their money?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of how we're in the spot we're in now, right? But yeah. I had something. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say.
That whole thing was
Harambe. That was our generation.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That was us.
He did kind of ruin the Western world. So.
Just the Western?
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the East cares about Harambe if they even know who he is. I think it only affects Western society, you know?
Oh, sorry. You meant like North. Yeah.
Not like fucking California and only California or some shit. Like the Western world as in all of America and Europe and shit like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our greatest.
Yeah, I can't think of any others. Anthem, maybe?
Did you say Anthem?
Yeah. Anthem is pretty bad.
Somebody tried to step to Destiny and they got put down. You know?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Fallout 76.
That was less of a tragedy and more of like everyone kind of saw it coming, though, I feel like.
But still,
It's
Yeah.
kind of watching like somebody give the keys to the lifted Ford to like the kid that can't move his feet, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is gonna end well.
It's like I look at it that like Bethesda had been slightly drinking and driving the whole time they were making their games, but this time you watch them down 4 bottles of Jack Daniels and get into their lifted truck.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and then go right through a red light and hit a fucking Subaru.
Like you did like what should happen?
Yeah.
You didn't want to think it was gonna happen, right? You kind of held.
Yeah, you had some hope, and then it happened, and you're like,
Even as
yeah,
you
okay, that
watch
makes sense.
Lifted truck, even as you watch that lifted truck, like run through that red and straight at that Subaru, right until it hit it, you sat there,
Yeah.
like, maybe you'll just jump it, you know?
You're watching it go 70 in a school zone, and you're like, it's going really fast, but like, it'll go fast enough that it goes right by everyone, right? And then you see like that bag come out, and you're like, oh, dude, all the children are on the road right now. They're currently crossing.
And then you sit there with your drink in your head, right? Well, Todd Howard, you can hear his voice in your head, 4 times the detail.
4 times the size. It just works. It just works.
Weather systems.
All the mods we stole from the modding community and put into our own game.
You remember some of the outfits you got for free in Fallout 4? Now you gotta buy them.
$20. This Santa outfit that released for $24, but we discounted it the day it released for $18, even though that's, super fucking shady and illegal, and they changed it right afterwards.
I think it's illegal where you guys are. I don't think it's illegal here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, dude, I think that whole thing, in my mind, I know that like shitty games had been released before that, but in my mind, that is the start. Yeah?
I think it was the most disappointing one, because Fallout 4 was like, it's not great, but like, especially for the time, Fallout 4 is pretty interesting and good, I think.
I don't think Fallout 4 has the
People didn't have a negative perception of Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
And now between like 76 and Wolfenstein Youngblood and Redfall, like Bethesda is in the fucking gutter.
I'm never gonna release Skyrim again.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm waiting for the fucking next Elder Scrolls game to just be Skyrim.
For like, they're gonna create like a Skyrim Fitbit app. You know?
What the fuck?
Well, they did Skyrim for like the Alexa, yeah, or Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, I think that was a joke.
It wasn't.
It what? Wait, what? That was a real thing?
No, it was.
That's so sad. Why would they do that?
No, that has. Can you look that up for me? Actually, make sure I'm not bullshitting myself.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, wasn't that a Key and Peele skit?
But I could have swore that I could have swore it was a real thing. Or that it was like sort of a real thing. Yeah. Maybe I'm probably shitting out of my ass here.
Yeah, it was a sketch. They did release a what?
What did they release?
Oh, actually, never mind. Yeah, they did do it.
They did do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I told you.
Alexa, play Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Like, they're gonna release, like, Skyrim for them. For your Apple Watch. Right? For your little Fitbit. And you're gonna have to, you're to, Pokemon Go. To make Skyrim Go. You know?
Yeah, they did that with The Witcher. There's a Witcher app that's just Pokemon Go, but, The Witcher.
Mm. That's awesome.
What else were we talking about? Government. Big government, man.
Big government, man.
Government sucks. The economy
They do.
sucks. Everything sucks, man.
Everything fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Everything sucks and everything blows.
Yeah. The ATF sucks. They'll shoot your dog, man.
You know, we don't have the ATF here, but I have heard stories.
You have? The shooting your dog one is a common one. It still happens to this day. Yes!
Did they actually do that?
Do you know what the first, I think it's the first, or, at least the story that, made it really fucking big?
I think
So-
I've heard of it, but Why don't you remind me?
I told you a little bit about it. The Ruby Ridge incident.
Yeah, you brought up the name.
So
but...
basically, what happened is Ruby Ridge is the name of this dude's like private property, like off the grid, right?
Yep.
So like the ATF. Do you know what the ATF technically is?
They're like the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms people.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. They're basically like the IRS, but for all of those things. Like to make sure you're paying your taxes on those things.
Okay.
And they're like big on like regulations and stuff. But basically, this dude has his property at Ruby Ridge. It's off the grid. He lives with like his son and his wife and a dog. I think he was a Green Beret.
Okay,
he was a decorated service member, and he was basically just living his life afterwards, whatever. Apparently, I think it was over 2 shotguns he had. They suspected that he had sawed off the barrels of the shotguns, which you aren't supposed to do without paying the tax on it. But he did it himself, so he didn't pay the taxes, and that's what they were fucking on him about, apparently.
Okay.
So they gave him a court date, and he didn't show up to it, or he rescheduled it because he didn't get the original one soon enough because he lives off the fucking grid, so it's really hard to contact him. So he rescheduled it, and before he could even like go to the rescheduled one, the ATF sends these officers out into the woods to go to this guy's house. And basically, out in the middle of nowhere, coming up on this dude's cabin with that has his like, I think his wife was pregnant, or anyways, his wife and like his son and like their dog, whatever. Agents show up. They see the son and the dog like playing outside the property. The dog's barking because there's fucking people in the trees. Like they're in the tree. They're in the fucking trees.
Yeah.
The dog starts barking. Somebody shoots the dog. And then the son, who sees these, because they didn't announce themselves as government officials, right? They just showed up in camo in the woods, and they shot this dude's dog because it started barking at him.
Yeah.
Not running near him. I think if you see the photographs, they're like a good 40 to 50 yards away from this kid and the dog.
So it's like, you know, you noticed it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Imagine you were like hanging out with your grandparents or some shit, or like your dad on like at like a cabin, and you're like playing with the dog, and then it just gets shot, and you look up into the woods where the shot came from, and there's these dudes in camo with rifles coming towards your house that aren't like, oh yeah, by the way, we're with the government. They're like just showing up. So the kid sees these guys that just shot his dog, and he starts firing at the dudes who still have not yet announced themselves. I think he might have hit one of them. I don't know all the details. But then after that, as you would expect someone in the good American states to do after somebody shoots your fucking dog way out in the middle of nowhere on your own private land, right? In response to this, they shoot the kid. He goes down.
How old is this kid?
I'm pretty sure he was a teenager, like between 14 and 17, like in that age group. I don't know exactly.
The kid's dead.
Yeah, he's literally a fucking kid, like a teenager.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they shoot him, and then it starts a, like, I think it was a multi-day standoff. I'm going to look this up because I don't want to get the details, like, completely fucked up. But it was a multi-day standoff.
Get his dog shot. This is like...
Yeah. 11-day siege in Idaho in 1992. It was not that long ago. Yeah, state marshals came, whatever, and the FBI. Let me see. Randy Weaver, yeah, was the dude. Basically, and then they start this 11-day siege where the dude's holding up in his house because these fucking armed strangers show up, shoot his dog and his kid. And while they're there, I think through a window, a sniper shot his wife, like inside the building, because they thought that she was the dude they were coming for or whatever. Either way, they shoot her as well. And then while he goes outside to go retrieve the body of his son, they get him. I don't remember if he had. I think he surrendered or was arrested. Like they shot him, but they didn't kill him. But they shot and killed the rest of his fucking, everything.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? What came after that?
He got arrested.
Why was he getting fucking arrested, dude? They showed up. He's defending himself.
You would think so, right?
They showed up unannounced, shot his dog, his kid, and his wife. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, whatever happened to him?
So he had his whole, what do you call it? Court case, whatever, and him and his surviving daughter moved to Montana eventually, this says. And then he died in 2011, or he died last year, May of last year.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is also the incident that sparked the Oklahoma City bombing, which actually happened.
How is this?
So the guys that bombed a building in Oklahoma City, I actually know, dude. My fucking boss talked about this because he said he knew one of the kids that died in the explosion was part of his church group. But the guys that bombed the building in Oklahoma City said that they were inspired by the failures of the ATF and everything, and the government to basically commit that act of terrorism as a message, whatever, against the government.
Some Far Cry shit right there.
It is. That's the same kind of thing that happened with Waco, which is another thing I read into. I didn't know, I didn't know the details about Waco until recently. I thought it was very much standard Far Cry 5 cult behavior, but it was much less of that and more of. Have you not heard of the Waco, Texas standoff?
Nope.
So there was this group of, I think they were 3 tiers removed from Seventh-day Adventists, right?
Okay, what's a 7-day Adventist?
They're people that believe stuff about the Old Testament. I don't know the fucking details. Religious Christian people. People that are waiting for the rapture, basically.
That's enough for me, yeah?
Yeah. They're waiting for the return of Jesus. But damn, I'm fucking out of breath. It's hot. But basically, the Waco group was this, I forget what it was called, Carmel Mountain, something like that. They had this compound where they had a whole bunch of people live, and they were involved in the community, and they weren't what you imagine cultists to be, right? They weren't Far Cry 5 straight up.
Yeah.
Although I think Far Cry 5 was based on them, but obviously Far Cry 5 is a lot more intense and fantasy driven. But basically what happened was there was some fucked up shit. There was rumors about them abusing the children that were in the community. The guy that led it, David, what's his last name? Kresher. David, the guy that was in charge of it, married a 14-year-old, which is fucking legal in Texas, but still fucked up. So what happens is there's this big Waco community, and they're not doing anything wrong really outside of those few things. And then somebody gets tipped off because the Waco community is also involved in and owns this gun maker, or they own this thing for producing weapons and guns and stuff, which is all above board. They have all the licensing and stuff for it, but the government suspects that they're doing illegal shit anyways. So they prepare this siege, and they basically literally take, I forget what it is. There was a whole bunch of units of FBI and everything show up to the compound in fucking, full kit. It looks like a mission in Rainbow Six Siege. They're all pulling up, and I think to this day it's still disputed whether or not the Waco guys shot first or if the FBI shot first. But either way, they all show up agitating this group that hasn't. I think at this point they had not been proven to do anything wrong. There's just rumors about them doing fucked up shit. But they show up, they start a 45-minute firefight in which David, like the main dude, is shot, and then all these dudes hole up inside their compound for what I think was a 48-day siege. Like, it went on for a long fucking time.
Jesus.
And the FBI officers and everyone on the outside were just the most fucking irrehensible pieces of shit. And, like, they did a lot of fucked shit that... It's something that always really annoys me about, like, a lot of the justice system, and, like, this is going to get semi-political, people listening, but the way our social defense positions are in America is like a police officer can shoot an unarmed person on the street and get a 2 weeks vacation for it, instead of being, like, you know, reprimanded and arrested and charged for it, even if it's, like, absolutely clear that they're in the wrong, right? Like, it has to be an overwhelmingly negative appearance for somebody in a fucking badge to get charged for that, you know? Like the whole George Floyd thing a few years ago. Yeah. It has to be, like, overwhelmingly against them. That's what the whole killing in the name of is about, Rage Against the Machine. But where was I? Yeah, basically, this thing happened in the mid-90s, late 90s, and
okay,
there was all this fuck shit that the FBI and the agents did that didn't come out until way later, because obviously when it happened, when it was going down, they were telling news media, like, yeah, these guys are psychos, they're abusing children, they're doing X, Y, Z, and we're the good guys coming here to shut them down, right?
Yeah.
And basically, the reports coming out of it later was that, like, they eventually, you know, like, they pulled up fucking tanks, like, literally fucking M1 Abrams tanks to the standoff when there was no... I don't think there was any gunfire after that first, like, the first 45 minutes of gunfire on the first day.
Yeah.
Like, it was mostly just negotiations and shit. But there were all these reports of, like, FBI, the agents and stuff outside, like, fucking mooning the Waco, the people in the compound, like, literally fucking dropping trowel and, like, taunting them.
Jesus.
And they would do this shit where, like, late at night they would start playing, like, really loud audio and, like, shining spotlights on the compound to agitate the guys inside. Like, they were literally playing, like, dolphin sounds and, like, music with audio of squirrels getting killed over the top of it. Like, fucked up shit that there is no reason to be doing any of that for, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually what happened was, towards the end of it, this is the most, like, conspiratorial part of things, where depending on which story you listen to, it was either the cultists all set themselves on fire, or, and, like, you know, went out in a blaze of glory, whatever, like they did a big mass suicide thing. Yeah. Or the story that seems to make more sense is that the day before this big fire in the compound broke out, somebody who was, like, in charge of, like, the raid on the FBI's team said, like, oh, they only got one fire extinguisher, they're gonna need some, like, help from the fire department or whatever, making, like, a joke about something. And just so happens, you know, the next day the whole place catches on fire, and while it's on fire, the agents had also pumped, like, essentially tear gas into the building with women and children inside. And then it caught on fire. And the thing about this gas is, like, when it ignites, it basically turns into cyanide gas. So at the end of it, 9 people were able to escape from the building when it caught on fire. So out of however many people were in there to begin with, only 9 of them made it out, and everyone else, you know, was poisoned to death. They had, like, all of their women and children, like, hidden away in this bunker, but the door to the bunker had, like, caved in or collapsed, whatever, and they were trapped in there, and they were basically just trapped as they slowly suffocated and, like, were poisoned by this gas and shit.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So,
Fucking awful.
so depending on which story you choose to believe in, if you listen to the government, they said that the cultists lit themselves on fire in a mass suicide, and if you listen to anyone else, they'll tell you the FBI filled their compound with gas and then lit them on fire to get her done with, so they didn't have to spend any more money paying people to be involved in the raid.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah. But those are the two big stories that, like, really shatter faith in the government, among other things.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, we also treat veterans like shit and all that kind of stuff. And it's really kind of depressing. It's not exactly manhole cover levels of government fuckery, but it is what it is,
Yeah. And that's like. You guys are just.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah. Yeah. Just picking some stuff up. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I thought it sounded like you're gonna start crying. You're gonna be like,
No. No, that's wild.
Yeah, it's super fucked.
It's one thing I don't understand
Huh.
about the States. I don't understand why any of you guys treat your veterans like shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't blame the employees. Blame the employer.
It's not like the people of America don't treat veterans like shit. Like the government treats them like shit.
Yeah. Like, why?
Because it would be too expensive, and that's socialism, man. You can't give people health care. That's fucking it's communist, right?
Yeah.
And like the thing I hate the most, and like I've had this conversation with like people I know and stuff, where it's like Canada can do it. Why can't we do it? We're way more America. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this though, but like America is quite a bit larger than Canada. Not like size wise, but like population, money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We spend like what $4 trillion a year on our defense budget, but we wouldn't be able to afford healthcare. And then people I've talked to about this will say like, but Canada's healthcare sucks. And I'm like, okay, then make it better. Like if your concern is that if we do it, it'll suck. What if we did it and we do it in a way to it not suck? Like we make the rules. Like what are you talking about?
I don't think it's that bad either, though.
Well, yeah.
Like, who are you talking with and telling you it sucks?
Just general people that are fucking stupid. People don't know what they're talking about.
Americans or Canadian?
Americans.
See, that's your problem.
But yeah, they don't know anything about the Canadian healthcare system other than what Fox News tells them. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay.
You know why biggest thing on why people think your country has free healthcare?
Huh.
You're not built for it.
I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's all fucking.
I just think the way that your country's been, like, in the past, right? You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I don't.
I don't know. This is something to talk about when it's just me and you, but.
You think like back when we used to like murder vampires and shoot manholes into space?
Yeah.
You think that history of warfare doesn't make us fit for healthcare?
Yeah. I'm too.
That's a fair point.
Also, we were trying to topple like these big insurance companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like it's like the money thing of it. Like you can't have this shit because these massive companies can literally buy buy politicians. There was this thing, I think it was in Texas, somebody who had their vote basically bought to roll back like child labor laws to make it so that children could work later because you don't have to pay children as much, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like one of the politicians that voted for it had their vote bought for $12,000.
Awesome.
12,000. I wouldn't take a $12,000 sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends. Like, dude, $12,000 is so little money for you to throw the people you're supposed to represent under the bus. Like, if you're gonna fuck over the people you represent, like, it makes some fucking money, dude. Like, if you're like, yeah, they paid me $3 million, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I could see that. But like, $12,000. You make $200,000 a year. Were you really hurting for that extra $12K?
One of them.
Maybe. They just spend all that money
Taxable?
on gay
That's the real
hookers.
question.
Uh,
Taxable?
I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I would assume probably a little
Bribery
bit.
taxable? That's the real question.
Lobbying is probably taxable. Yeah, the government probably gets their penny off of it.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all fucking stupid. And in better news, Xbox is having game show off on Sunday. I will be streaming it. If you're watching this on Saturday, tomorrow, I'm streaming it. Buster McTunder, twitch.tv/Buster McTunder, etc., etc.
And
Nexus Nights.
If he's cool with that, I'll be there with him.
Yeah, we can do that.
Everybody's tired.
Hopefully, there's no Gears of War announcement. I will kill myself.
Yeah.
You'll see me live on the air.
If we hear no Gears announcements, I will think about peeling a banana with my ass. I still have to tell that story.
I'd rather you don't. Actually, I'd rather.
I actually did it. It's a concept in my brain.
Okay,
Yeah.
I still would rather not hear the idea. But
You're
yeah.
probably telling how much I want to have sex with a metal robot. Yeah. But I can't talk about peeling a banana with my asshole. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm just trying to keep myself from death, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's still
You
fucking
know,
hot in here, dude. So fucking warm.
How long have we been going for now?
40 minutes.
So we got 20 more minutes to fill.
Yeah.
What's like your go-to candy to make you feel good?
I don't know. It kind of comes on and off. Right now, I've been doing a lot of Nutty Buddies.
Oh man, I've been back hooked on Skittles again.
I can't do Skittles, man. They're they're too tart. Like, if I'm doing a sweet candy, I'm doing bottle caps. Otherwise, I can't really do sweets like that.
You're
It's
alright.
just, it doesn't taste good. I like bottle caps because I like the ones that taste like root beer.
What are bottle caps?
Actually, if I want sweet, I'll probably just get a root beer. Fuck the candy.
Dude, Skittles crack for me, man.
I can hear that, yeah.
Yeah? Can you hear me eating them?
Yeah, I can hear the rapper, yeah. Yeah. Ah, don't make that
Oh no.
noise.
Oh god. Oh god, that's so bad. Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh. So, as soon as I put the Skittles, in my hand and shake them like they're sunflower seeds,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I throw them into my mouth, right?
Uh-huh.
I just threw my mouth and I felt one just slide down the back of my throat.
Do you just get throated by a Skittle?
I did. Oh god.
Oh, Ben. Oh, Ben. Oh, Ben.
What?
I don't know. Just... I don't know, man. I don't know where to go from here. We just talked about a covenant getting blasted, you know? You sound like you're taking the most extensive shit.
Dude, I can feel it in my throat.
You're not supposed to feel your shit in your throat.
It's coming out the wrong way. But yeah, if you're watching this tomorrow, at whatever time he puts this up at, come watch the stream on Sunday. I'll be there. Hopefully, Feel Deaf Kyle here. Buster
I do
will
stream
definitely be there.
every Sunday, by the way. Every Sunday we do
Yes,
Nexus
stream every
Nights.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So you have the time to go to church and come watch Nexus Nights.
Yeah, you know. I want you to go to church, get gassed and firebombed by the government, and then come watch the stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember, do not mix tear gas with flames.
Yeah, that would fuck you up.
But yeah, come check out Nexus Nights. I think it's gonna be awesome. I haven't ever been to
Yeah.
it. Not much of a good fan.
You're hyping it up and you've never participated.
But I know from experience, anything that he tries to set up and wants to do is usually a really good time.
Okay, good.
So,
I thought that was going to go in the opposite direction. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You good?
Yeah, no, anything that he kind of sets up and all of his streams, I really love him when I can catch him. Check out his videos. I don't do anything, so I'm fucking lazy.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Oh, my suck just punched me in the nuts.
Good.
Ah,
Good. Um,
oh, don't do that, little man. Hey, get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Sorry about that, guys.
damn.
Um,
Man's getting capped.
for real. So I can't believe I swallowed that fucking scale whole.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory then? Or
We
like,
talked about this. Where's the moon landing?
did we? Oh yeah. Then like, what about like just general like creepypasta, like cryptid type shit? You know?
Okay, Grandma, you don't have to take them.
You know, what's your like favorite concept for like a good monster in like horror?
Good. Okay, so any monster that you can't see or that you just can't comprehend.
Oh yeah, that's like general. Generally, you don't want to
Yeah.
know what they look like.
But I think like, but I mean like it has to be invisible. You know?
Like Cthulhu shit.
Yeah, like cosmic horror type shit. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Those ones have never
I think-
been like all too horrifying for me because it's like it's up to such a extreme that it's not tangible. You know?
No, that's what I mean though, right? But not like that. But I mean kind of in this sense that it's like you can't like I think everything's more scarier when you don't know what's there. You know what I mean?
I think it's scarier if you have an idea of how it works, but you don't exactly know how it works. If that makes sense,
Or what
rather
it
than
looks
like rather than something that's like on a greater plane of existence. Because at that point you're just dealing with God, and at that point it's less scary and more just
that you're having an existential crisis and you're not scared.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
yeah. You're literally blown away and like that kind of shit.
I don't think I like an ideal like horror thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know, dude.
you don't have like a scary type thing.
4 years ago, I would have said sobriety.
I'm really scared of like having an alone time with myself.
Dude, I'm really scared of fixing my life up and stop using drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I abuse substances and I use it as an excuse to be a piece of shit all the time. Not you
Hey,
specifically, but like I know a lot of people like that.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm still a piece of shit. All right.
Yeah, well.
I knew what I was.
I think stuff that's like real, but like wrong in a certain way, you know?
You think they're like slightly wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
Right.
off of how it's supposed to be.
Like flesh-eating rabbits. You know?
Yeah, or just like stuff that's like disturbing, like to see. Have you seen The Box?
I think so.
It was like a short horror story type thing where like a dude's friend gives him a box or whatever and he tells him like you can't take your eyes off of it.
See, that's the kind of stuff that doesn't freak me out. Yeah, right. You know?
No. It's not that it's like scary to me, but I think like just like the disturbing imagery of it like raises it, you know?
I mean, I can say that for most people, but it doesn't. You know? Definitely.
Yeah.
I think you don't really freak me out.
Huh.
If there was like some monster that like possessed trees or something like that, you know what I mean?
You're just scared of the Ents from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. It's like normal nature, but everything's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Those trees from like the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, sort of. Right? Where I'm just like walking. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like flesh-eating bunnies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. It's like you go like out in a field and you see a coyote and it stands up on 2 feet and runs away.
Yeah. So, and even if it just ran away from me, I'd shit my pants. Yeah.
If you just saw a regular coyote.
Well, because you want to know what it is, because then it leaves you questioning everything else.
What? Like why would it run away?
No. Why did it stand up on 2 feet and run away? Right?
Oh yeah.
If I saw a group of
I thought you were talking about like if just you saw a regular coyote run away from you.
no. Right?
Yeah, but yeah, if it stood up on 2 feet and then it ran away, you're like, wait, running? Wait, what? Like, is it scarier if you see something disturbing and it runs towards you, or if you see something disturbing and it runs away from you?
No, well, I think it runs away.
Right? Because then it's like, what are you running from?
I let my ego come to me and be like, yeah, that's right, I'm scary. You know?
You turn around and it's a fucking.
Yeah. It's one of those moments.
Yeah. You think you're the scary one, you turn around and it's a bear doing a handstand. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Fuck. Honestly, though, I think that, like, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or even if it's like, even if it's not every animal that does this, but it's like something possessing these animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Kind of like, have you seen the, oh, what the fuck is it? Chronic wasting disease in deer?
Sorta, yeah.
It's a prion disease where they eat some sort of protein, and it's like a genetic disease, so you literally cannot cure it, but it's most common in cows and deer. I think it can be transferred to humans, but it doesn't work in the same way, where basically their flesh starts to die while they're alive. So they get these big gashes in them, and they start to like go crazy and just like start doing whatever the fuck, and they look like zombie deer.
Cause you want to know what my thing is though?
What?
It's never been visualized, right? Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's more like idealized.
Yeah, it's like the coyote standing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like if a coyote were to stand up on two legs and lock eyes with me, and then just like not run away, just walk away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even not just walk away and then go back down on four. It just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit like that would scare the shit out of me. You know?
Let me find this shit. Oh
Dude,
God.
no. It's like you know how like coyotes sound, right?
Coyotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I must have been like little, not little. I was like
That's
younger, right?
That's gonna fuck
And
me
I
up
they were
later
making
when I try to go to sleep.
they're making
But
this they were making this fucking screaming noise, yeah.
yeah.
You know, which then I had convinced myself was like this demon, right? Like I was sober,
You're hearing like coyote howling?
but it sounded like screaming, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
like
get it.
blood curdling.
It's kind of like elk, you know? Like, have you heard like elk or like caribou? They got like
Yeah.
that super like fucking high pitched thing. You know, they actually have a monster in Gears that sounds like that.
But of course, do you know what my biggest issue though is?
Huh?
Is I hear this and I'm going to the fight.
Yeah.
You know?
You hear that?
So I'm going into fight mode, but I'm getting like over paranoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like someone's watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had that encounter with a few stray dogs before, where you like see a stray dog on the street and you're like, are you gonna come at me, or do I have to defend myself right now?
I couldn't see the coyotes. Yeah.
Yeah, I have I'm pulling up slideshow scary images on the video portion of this, by the way. So I hope when you go through and you rewatch this, Ben, I hope it gets you.
You're okay.
You let me know if any of these affect you.
So like, it was wild, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced there's some monster like, in the woods that's following me, right? Yeah. You know, I'm like, this is it. All of my evil deeds have come to this point. I'm gonna die. Right. And then eventually I'm at my grandmother's in a small town having smoke in the front, and this deer, like, just like, looks at me and passes by. Right? Yeah. And so like then I get up and walk away and I'm like, whatever. And I turn around to walk back to the house, and it's just staring at me. You know?
Yeah.
And like I almost shit my pants. Right? I don't know what it was, and there was this dog making noises that did not sound like dog noises. Okay?
Yeah.
It sounded more like fucking bird noises. Alright? And it's like 2 in the morning, and this deer is just staring at me. And I'm like, this is it, you know?
Yeah.
Right? So you know how I overcame this stupid fear?
Huh.
I sat out back on the sun deck, like for like 3 days straight, only at night, and just waited for something to come and get me. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you waited to be abducted.
Yeah, so like, and I just sat there,
Yeah,
no
no, that
protection,
makes
nothing,
sense.
and because right in front of me was nothing but a field and trees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, that always sucks. That's the thing I hate. But like, I love camping. But like, if you go into the woods when it's like actually fucking dark, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I should be here. I'm not built for this environment.
so yeah, I sat there and I just looked out and it was smoking. Yeah, all
Yeah.
night. And I just sat there, and on the third night before I had to go, I stood up and I was like, I fucking told you.
How would you feel if, like, as you got up and you started like being triumphant, you just hear like scuttling and you see like a coyote start walking on 2 feet out of the woods?
I'd probably, dude, you saying that gave me like I just
Like they just follow you home?
dude, no, it would be even. That's what I thought. I thought the thing from the forest was following me around. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was near my house. I never thought it followed me to my grandmother's. That's why I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Right?
Like you
Dude.
go to like the most innocuous place, like you go to the grocery store and like as you're like putting your cart away, you look at the far side of the parking lot and it's just a coyote.
Dude, you know what the fuck part was though, right? Yeah.
Huh.
Is that like that last night? That same fucking deer, like another, not the same one, but another deer was moseying around in the back field. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I gripped the arms of that chair because I thought this was it, you know?
Yeah, you thought the deer was just gonna come for you?
I thought it was gonna stand up and grab me.
Yeah. Like are you talking about like
I think I'm joking.
are you talking about like the bull in Family Guy that it like stands up and it takes the hooves off like they're gloves and then it grabs Peter by the belt?
Yeah. Like, dude, do you know whatever that made me shit my pants though, right?
Huh.
This deer left, and whenever it was daytime, I felt fine, right? Yeah. It
Yeah.
would have shit my pants. Is as the sun was rising, I just stood up, looked around, and at the very base of that door, on the other side, like to the actual outside, there was a coyote. Yeah. I probably would have
Yeah.
shit my pants, you know? God, dude, now I've got images in my head. I fucking hate you.
Oh, what the fuck
There's
is it
not-
called?
There's not many things that freak me out, but those moments did.
Yeah. That's kind of like the shit about oh, what is it called? There's this song, I don't know if you've heard it, but like the first computer generated song, like it was a song made by or sung by a computer using like an algorithm. And like it's super fucking old. Let me see if I can find this. First song. Yeah, Daisy Bell. Ah, dude, it's so fucking creepy. I'd play it, but you wouldn't be able to hear it.
I'll listen to it later.
Here, actually, hold on. I'm gonna drop this in the Discord.
You want me to give it a
Alright.
listen right now?
Yeah, I want you to listen to this. I'm gonna put it in the Discord chat.
Okay.
You tell me what you think of that.
In general?
Yeah, or I put it in the chat of the call.
Okay.
But it was sung by a computer technically. When was this?
Hold on.
And it sounds so creepy that people use it in like fucking I forget which. I think it was used in the back rooms, some shit like that,
I
right?
think I've heard this already.
Yeah. 1961. Skipped like 50
Yeah,
seconds
it is.
in, right? For the viewers watching, I'll see if I could just, download this horrific thing and put it in so you can listen to it. But yeah. Does he sing? Yeah.
That bad.
If you use TikTok, you've probably seen it. It's very popular on there. Yeah, it's fucked. But yeah.
Just hold on.
People use it in all sorts of
Yeah.
nonsense. But I don't know, something about that like skinwalker, like doppelganger type shit, I think kind of gets me
Yeah.
freaked out a little bit.
Yeah, it's the skinwalker shit. That's what I meant by, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's so like it's
it's
like
always
tripping,
like,
you know?
especially when it's like the type of like they like mimic, like the story is like they mimic like human whatever, but they don't
Well,
exactly
that's why I
look it,
was
like they don't
freaking
get
out
it
about the
right.
screaming.
Yeah.
That's why I was freaking out about the
You thought it was like
screaming and
a
that sound.
creature. I'm gonna get nightmares from this. Actually, I'm gonna go back to the forest fire. Uh, but yeah, it's
No, this because the screaming was like very specific, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and I went into fight mode, but the more I heard it, right, and there's not many things that kick me into flight and not fight,
yeah.
right? But that kind of like ticked the box where it was even like my brain was like, don't turn around, bro, don't go, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And
like
what's
get to
funny,
the top floor in your house and like grab a gun and hold out.
but I couldn't turn around because whatever. So here's my issue, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was being watched from a specific place.
Yeah.
I don't usually feel like this, right?
Yeah.
So, but it felt like it was a diagonal, not right beside me or not directly behind me. Because on the other side of the street, there's
Like
these bushes.
it was from the
There's these long
side.
trees. Yeah, it was like the diagonal side of me, right?
Yeah.
So like, but it always stuck as a diagonal. Like as much as I walked forward, it would never meet with me, side by side, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, no. I get you.
like I don't think I've ran any harder in my life.
Just a full sprint like the fucking cop from A Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, like
Like usually when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go check it out. You know?
I'll go out there and investigate the screaming in the woods.
Oh no, the screaming wasn't the thing that turned me on. Yeah?
Oh
The
yeah.
screaming was like the what's that? You know, I want to go check it out. It's this sudden feeling of like
Being
like,
watched.
that animal watch me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know it feels like to be watched by coyotes. Like it was a totally different feeling. You know?
That's
You know what I
fair.
mean? It was like I was like having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, we need to stop because I'm gonna get paranoid about this, man. I'm not gonna be able to.
No.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
I told my one friend to give
Yeah.
me comfort, yeah. And I was like, the difference is I'm a sin against God, you know? Right?
So you think you're a target?
Yeah.
You think God, like personally, like?
Oh no. No, that whole time that I ran, because I ran and cried behind a 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not usually an apologetic person.
Average day in
something about that-
Saskatchewan.
But something about that specific moment, the way that made me feel, that I just like broke down and started apologizing for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. You just start praying. You become a born again. Like.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's when I went and waited outside those few days, and that was just because like that's why that deer thing freaked me out so much. You know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was on
you
the
should
phone with somebody because
Look
I had to
up
make
chronic
a deal.
wasting disease, man. If you saw one of those deer, like you would think that it's like not right.
Yeah, but I feel like if I saw that, I'd feel better. You know.
Like a deer on the brink of death.
But this was like a healthy deer, right?
Yeah,
That
fair
was, like,
enough.
staring me down aggressively. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't. It's like. There's like I've said, there's not many things that genuinely terrify me, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm like crazy for talking about this, yeah. But like I said, I've been watched by animals. I've been, you know, got my stuff,
You think you're
right?
on like some sort of hit list?
I'm on God's hit.
You could trick me into thinking that. There's like I think it's also like different types of fear. Like I fear like a serial killer differently than I fear like skinwalker type shit, you know?
Like, what do you like? Sort of, yeah. Like, I'm not scared of that shit. Like, you could tell by me now, like, whatever. Even after that experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. But it's like, I'll be honest. Once in a while, that creeping feeling sinks in randomly. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, you just think you're like being watched.
but it's like random. Like we could talk. I don't feel like that. Like we could talk
That's
about
what it's
tonight, and I
called.
wouldn't feel like that. You know.
Yeah.
But then one night I'll be sitting there and having a smoke, and just suddenly it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what it is. That's a fucking.
What?
That's a weird looking face.
What?
Oh, that'll give me
Let's
rocks.
see it.
It's just kind of disturbed. It's like a creepypasta type shit, right? Called the Mandela Chronicles or Mandela Revelations. And it's like this whole, like, you could find the videos on YouTube and they're supposed to be like, kind of like, you know, experimental horror type shit, whatever, that you like break down. Kind of like, I'm scared, don't hug me. Or don't hug me, I'm scared. It's like that, but it's like a whole story about like these people in this county that are like having creatures that like kill people and steal their faces, but like they can't do it right.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like that kind of shit. Like just like picturing it is like kind of fucked up for me.
I just think that shit just doesn't, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the horror movies, like this is
like when it's obviously fictional.
Not even that, like even things that like I would put in scenarios that probably should be, you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
It depends if I'm strapped or not, you know.
For me, I don't care. I didn't have anything. When I heard this screaming, I was ready to waltz in with nothing but a lighter and a cigarette. You know?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Right?
I don't know about you, but if I hear screaming from the forest, my goal is not to get anywhere near that.
Right? But you want to know what made it like really bad though?
Yeah, okay.
Was that I timed out the screaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, it almost sounded like they were perfectly in sequence, you know?
Yeah, like somebody out there had a speaker on a timer.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's why.
That's what Bigfoot hunters do. They'll like go out into the woods with a speaker and like play Bigfoot calls super loud into the forest, and it's just like the audio of like a monkey screaming.
But it also felt like it was, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I sat there for maybe like 10 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
And listened to it, yeah? Waiting for something, you know?
Hey. Maybe you're being hunted by the skinwalkers, man.
I could be. But it's like, after those 3 days, right? Where I just like looked out at like this midnight black like thing, right? And that whole time I felt like I was being watched, you know?
Yeah. You know what really sucks is like all the stories can be like genuinely like gripping or like kind of like creepy and like put you on edge, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like whenever you see people that like actually believe it and they try to prove that it's real, it's like the most bullshit ever. Like if you watch like the documentary about like Skinwalker Ranch or whatever, and they're like, they're skinwalkers, man, I'm telling you, and their evidence is like a power line that's broken.
Yeah. I can't prove it. You know?
Yeah, you're like, you gotta believe me, but they were here, man. Look at that power line. That went down. And it's like, do you have video of it going down? And they're like, no.
There was anything. So, like, I don't believe there's, like, an actual thing.
Well, yeah. It's just like your mind playing tricks on you.
I mean, sure, we can go. Well, I'll get in my more conspiratorial phase, I guess, outside of the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
I believe in, like, ghosts and shit.
Oh, I don't know
what I
any
mean?
of that.
Oh, I do.
My girlfriend said I'm not allowed to bring a Luigi board in their presence because it's too dangerous. And I'm like,
Oh, I love that stuff, right? Yeah.
I can't believe any of it.
I don't believe in that stuff, right?
Yeah. Charlie, are you there? And fucking Moist Critical appears right in front of you.
Ooh.
Wrong Charlie.
I mean, even if I don't, it's just like, what's weird about it to me,
Yeah.
right, is that my brain has never really done this, you know, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the smoking, man.
Shut up. Let's try to justify this issue.
yeah. Let me ruin smoking for you.
Yeah, please, God, don't. So like, it put the fear of God.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, are we cutting it there?
We've been going for plenty long enough time. I'm gonna have a panic attack if we do keep going though. So, I'd say that's good enough time to stop it. Stop thinking about fucking
Well,
things that bend in the wrong directions. You know.
yeah, for real. So,
It's like there's like a fine line between it being not scary at all, or like how intense a design of a monster is, between it being not scary. Like if it's so simple, like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees are not scary because they're just dudes. And then you have like super over designed, like that fucking. Do you know those YouTube videos of like the dudes who are like, we're ghost hunters, and this lady called us over because she said her son's having problems, and her son overnight turns into like this dude on stilts, and it's like it like screams and it like bashes into the door.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like if it's super over designed like that, and it just looks cringy, and it's like that's not scary at all. That's just a dude who's in that kind of goofy mood. But there's like a fine line somewhere between those two, where it's like just real enough, but also disturbing enough to be creepy.
See, I just like, yeah, I think for me it's always been, doesn't matter how it looks, yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so if we're gonna cut it there, anything else you want to say?
Not really. I think that's everything. Sundays, Nexus Nights, come by. You can win money, maybe. That's everything. Xbox game show.
Yeah, so Sunday we'll have Xbox, Kyle and I, Buster McTunder and I, whatever the fuck we'll say.
Nexus Nights with
Will be
everyone in the Gears of War community and people outside will take you in. Otherwise, shit
I've been doing
continues as normal.
This is
The Chaos Continuum podcast.
no. Who are you, jackass?
Oh, Buster McTunder.
And this has been.
Dude, it's so fucking hot, man. My brain is literally liquefying as we speak. All right, like don't.
And this has been the Chaos Continuum podcast. Have a good day, guys.
Go fuck yourselves.